This morning, the heartbreaking next step that was inevitable in a story that has captured nationwide attention.
In just a matter of hours, the family of Adriana Smith, the pregnant woman who has been on a ventilator since February, will say their final goodbyes before she's taken off life support this afternoon.
Tonight, Adriana Smith has been taken off of life support.
30-year-old Adriana Smith was a nurse, a caregiver. She worked long shifts, cared for others, and trusted the system she served. But when she needed that system herself, it failed her, and the law decided what happened next. In February 2024, Adriana was about 9 weeks pregnant when she started having severe headaches. Her mother, April Newkirk, remembers watching the pain get worse.
They gave us some medication, but they didn't do any tests. They didn't do any CT scans. If they did, they would have caught it.
Doctors at Northside Hospital sent her home. No scans, no labs, no follow-up. By the next morning, everything changed. Her boyfriend found her gasping for air, barely responsive. She was rushed to Emory Decatur Hospital, then transferred again, this time to Emory University Hospital, where she worked as a nurse. It should have been the safest place she could be. But by the time she arrived, it was too late.
They did a CT scan and she had blood clots all in her head. So they had asked me if they could do a procedure to relieve them, and I said yes. And then they called me back and they said that they couldn't do it.
The blood clots, a condition called cerebral venous thrombosis, had already caused catastrophic damage. Doctors declared Adriana brain dead. Her mother said what every parent fears.
I feel as if somebody dropped the ball at the hospitals.
It wasn't anger alone, it was disbelief. How could two major hospitals miss what was happening until it was too late? But soon, the family would learn their nightmare wasn't over. Because Adriana was pregnant. Her doctors said they could not remove her from life support. Not because of medical reasons, but because of Georgia's heartbeat bill, a 2019 law that bans abortion once a fetal heartbeat is detected. That law recognizes an unborn fetus as a person under state law. And that meant hospitals risked criminal penalties if they withdrew life support before the fetus was viable, even if the mother was legally dead. So Adriana's body was kept alive. For weeks, then months.
It's torture for me. I come here and I see my daughter breathing by the ventilator, but she's not there. And I'm touching her.
Her mother visited every day, watching machines breathe for her daughter. Watching monitors record a heartbeat that didn't belong to the woman she knew anymore.
She's pregnant with my grandson, but my grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him.
By June, Adriana had been on a ventilator for over 4 months. Her body sustained the pregnancy to 21 weeks, but her family's anguish deepened.
It should have been left up to the family because I'm in my 50s, her dad is in his 50s, so we're going to have the responsibility with her partner to raise her sons, you know? And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice. We should have had a choice.
Subscribe to Medical Crime Files because stories like this show what happens when compassion meets the law and the law wins. In July 2024, after months of forced survival, Adriana gave birth through an emergency C-section. Her son, baby Chance, was born premature but alive. Days later, on July 10th, doctors finally removed Adriana from life support. Outside the hospital, her mother stood before cameras, tired, devastated, and still fighting for answers. She said what millions were thinking. Someone failed her daughter. Her death ignited a national debate. Was Adriana's case the tragic result of medical error, or the cruel consequence of a law that put ideology above humanity? In Georgia, supporters of the heartbeat bill called Adriana's pregnancy a miracle of faith. Her family called it a violation of choice. And across America, doctors, lawyers, and mothers asked the same question. When a woman's life ends, but her pregnancy continues, who decides what happens next? The legal and ethical battle that followed would reach beyond Georgia, raising questions about patient rights, medical autonomy, and the future of healthcare in post-Roe America. Adriana's death didn't end the story. It began a national argument over medicine morality, and who has the right to decide when life support should end. After news broke, the reaction was immediate. Some blamed doctors for missing her diagnosis. Others blamed Georgia's heartbeat bill, which forced the hospital to keep a brain-dead woman on a ventilator because she was pregnant. The law passed in 2019 bans abortion once a fetal heartbeat is detected, usually around 6 weeks. It also defines an unborn fetus as a person, creating a legal duty to preserve the pregnancy at all costs. So, even after Adriana was declared brain-dead, doctors feared prosecution if they withdrew life support. Her family had no say. Her body remained hooked to machines for months, not because of hope, but because of law. Legal experts called it a collision of definitions. Under criminal law, Adriana was gone. Under abortion law, she was still alive enough to carry a child. That contradiction forced the world to confront a painful question. When medicine says death, but politics says life, who decides? Similar cases have appeared before, in Texas, Ireland, and elsewhere, where hospitals were compelled to keep brain-dead women alive until delivery. Doctors warn these laws turn care into control, trapping families in limbo between science and statute. Supporters of the heartbeat bill, though, point to Adriana's baby Chance as proof that the law protects life. To them, it was a miracle, not a mistake. That divide, miracle or violation, defined the debate. Ethicists argued for family choice clauses that would let relatives decide, but Georgia's law remained unchanged, and the Smith family was left to live with the consequences. For Adriana's mother, it was never about politics, it was about compassion. She wanted her daughter treated as a person, not a case file. Her words, "We should have had a choice," became a rallying cry across the country. Her story is now taught in law and ethics discussions as a warning. When laws are written in absolutes, real people pay the price. What do you think? Should the law decide, or should the family? Tell me in the comments. And if you believe Adriana's story must never be forgotten, share this video and subscribe to Medical Crime Files. Because when medicine and law collide, it's families, not politicians, who live with the outcome. You're watching Medical Crime Files. Trust betrayed.